Good morning. My name is Jan Shea, and on behalf of First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware, I welcome you to our online worship service. No matter your race or ethnicity, no matter where you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are welcome here. If you're joining us for the first time this morning and you'd like to find out more about us, you can do so through our website, firstuuwilm.org. And now let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship.
Our call to worship is a poem by William Stafford entitled "The Way It Is." There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain the thread, but it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. You don't ever let go of the thread.
If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to join me by lighting it now. As I light our chalice, I give you these words by Reverend Rebecca Savage. We light our flaming chalice as a beloved people, united in love and thirsting for restorative justice. May it melt away the tethers that uphold whiteness in our midst. May it spark in us a spirit of humility. May it ignite in us radical love that transforms our energy into purposeful action. This is a chalice of audacious hope. This chalice shines a light on our shared past, signaling our intention to listen deeply, reflect wisely, and move boldly toward our highest ideals.
Love makes a bridge from heart to heart and hand to hand. Love finds a way when laws are blind and freedom banned. Love breaks the walls of language, gender, class, and age. Love gives us wings to slip the bars of every cage. Love lifts the hopes that force and fear have beaten down. Love breaks the chains and gives us strength to stand our ground.
Please join me in affirming our mission. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a beloved community that nourishes minds and spirits, fights injustice, and transforms the world through loving action.
In today's worship service, you are going to hear a lot about ILYA. As a matter of fact, later in the service, we will have a special collection for ILYA. If you've been around First Unitarian Church of Wilmington for a while, maybe you've heard people talk about ILYA before. ILYA stands for Independent Living for Young Adults. It is a social justice project here at First Unitarian that provides support for young adults as they age out of the foster care system. Aging out of foster care means that when a child turns 18 or graduates from high school, they need to leave the foster care system, but they don't always have a family to help them. That is where ILYA comes in, helping to provide support for these young people. But what is foster care? Why are some children in foster care? What is it like for them? Today, with the permission of the American Psychological Association, I am sharing a book called Maybe Days. It is written by Jennifer Wagaki and Marcia Kahn Wright and illustrated by Alyssa Imre Guys. This book can help answer some of our questions about foster care. All kids need a grown-up to take care of them. But sometimes, for different reasons, kids can't live with their parents. Sometimes kids need to live somewhere else. That is what this story is about. Some kids live in a foster home where grown-ups called foster parents take care of them. Living in a foster home is usually not the kid's idea. It is also not the kid's fault. It's not because the kid is bad or silly or stupid or goofy. It's because, for different reasons, kids sometimes can't live with their parents. Sometimes kids cannot live with their parents because their parents hurt them. Sometimes kids cannot live with their parents because a parent dies. Sometimes kids can't live with their parents because their parents have to be in jail. Sometimes kids cannot live with their parents because their parents just can't take care of them. Some kids like their foster parents a lot, even love them. Some kids have other feelings about their foster parents. Lots of kids have more than one feeling at the same time. Some kids get worried if they like their foster parents. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or make anyone feel bad. Some kids call their foster parents mom or dad. Some kids don't. Some kids don't look much like their foster parents and the people in their neighborhood. Some kids look a lot like their foster parents and the people in their new neighborhood. Sometimes kids and foster parents do a lot of things the same. Sometimes there are new things that they can learn that are fun and exciting. Sometimes there is a lot to get used to, and there is always something to get used to. Sometimes kids and foster parents get along with each other pretty easily. Sometimes kids and foster parents have troubles they have to work out. Some kids like to tell people that they live with their foster parents. Some kids don't like to tell anyone. They don't like having to explain or answer a million questions or even put up with getting teased. Foster care can last a long time or a short time. No matter how long or short it is, kids miss their parents or brothers and sisters or aunts and uncles or pets or friends or neighbors or school or even their bed. When kids are in foster care, they can have big feelings. Sometimes big feelings turn into troubles, like school troubles, sadness troubles, sleep troubles, anger troubles, and other troubles. Sometimes kids need help with their feelings and their troubles, and there are people who can help. Foster care involves a lot of people who all do different things. There are the kids, and there are a whole lot of grown-ups, the parents, the foster parents, the social worker, the therapist, the lawyers, and the judge. The grown-ups have different jobs, but one job they all share is making sure kids get taken care of well. And the one thing they all care the most about is the kids. The parents' job is to learn to solve their own problems and to be good parents. The foster parents' job is to take good care of the kids. The social worker's job is to check in with the parents and with the foster parents. The social worker also listens to the kids and helps if there are any problems. The therapist's job is to help everyone with their big feelings and their troubles and their worries. The lawyer's job is to speak up for people in court. The judge's job is to listen to everyone and to have the last say about what will happen and what the plan will be. The plan depends on the situation. The judge might say that kids can go home to their parents, or kids can stay in foster care, or kids can be adopted. Judges also decide if kids can have visits or kids can't have visits with their parents and relatives. Visits can be hard, or visits can be fun, or visits can be both. Kids have lots of different feelings about visits. No matter what the judge finally decides, kids in foster care have to wait a lot while the grown-ups work on the plan. While kids are waiting, they sometimes feel angry or worried or scared or confused or many other things. Waiting can be hard. When kids ask questions, the grown-ups often say, maybe. Will I go back to my parents? Maybe. Will I stay with my foster parents? Maybe. Will I live with my brothers and sisters again? Maybe. Will I have more visits with my parents? Maybe. It can be hard having so many maybes. Any day can feel like a maybe day. Sometimes kids want to hear yes or no instead of maybe. But kids do the best they can in the middle of all the maybes. And even though waiting can be hard and maybes can be hard, not everything has to be hard. A kid's job is always to be a kid. It is important not to let the waiting and maybes get in the way of other things, like going to school, having birthdays, playing with a pet, doing homework, smelling flowers, eating cookies, having friends, riding a bike, following the rules, meeting nice people, running as fast as you can, being good at what you're good at, and most of all, being you. There's no maybe about that.
The words of our meditation are actually a poem entitled Pandemic, written by Lynn Unger, March 11th of last year. Please join me in the spirit of prayer, in the spirit of meditation. Center down and hear Lynn's words. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling, give up just for now on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. And now, let us join in a few moments of shared silence. Please take a moment now. And if you would like, use the chat to share the names of those who are held close in mind and heart, those who may be in need of comfort or healing, those who may be in a moment of joy. I invite you to share their names. For all those whose names have been shared, and for all those whose names are held close, may there be peace and healing. May there be joy and hope. So may it be. Amen.
How far can reach a smile? How high a helping hand can lift? How far is far enough to give? Is there a way to learn just how a kindness speaks, or where it goes? Should love be caught to hold? For God pours out this love in all that lives. Through God we see that life can never cease to give. If we then think our small amount of help would not go far, and so don't give, would we still live?
The reading for this Valentine's Day service is from the Boots and Blessings blog kept by the Reverend Joanna Fontaine Crawford. Reverend Crawford serves the Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Austin, Texas. To love the hell out of the world means to love it extravagantly, wastefully, with an overpouring abandon and fervor that sometimes surprises even yourself. That love flows out of you, sometimes slow and steady, sometimes in a torrent, sometimes filled with joy, sometimes with fierceness or anger or heartbreaking pain. So much love that comes crashing down on you. Gifts from the heavens in the form of the smiles and cares of others, a giggle burbling up from a toddler's fat little belly, the soft, sweet smell of star jasmine catching you unaware, not knowing where it came from, but it's here, and you're here, and just to live swells your heart with enough gratitude and love that you must release it or burst. And so you love the hell out of the world without scale, without ratio, without carefully allotting how much you will give versus how much you will receive. You love because you must. We love emphatically, actively, with our hands and feet, pushing the wreckage aside, reaching down, stretching until we fear our arms can go no further, but they do. We touch fingers with others, then grab on for dear life, pulling them out to safety, then going back in to remove the hell itself before it traps someone else. We round a corner, only to find hands waiting for us to pull us to safety, to warmth. We work in great passionate swoops and in slow plodding routines to put that extravagant love into action. Misery, ill health, disease, viciousness of greed in the face of want, voices that shout hate or whisper meanness, soul-eating addiction, humiliation, despair, injustice that curls up nastily, poisoning the spirit of giver and receiver, we do not flee. Bone-chillingly afraid we may be, but we step forward. We are the only form love will take, and the work is ours to do. Our job, our mission is to take all of that love, all of that overflowing, passionate, undying love, and train it on the hell that exists in this world. We are Unitarian Universalists from one source to one destiny, here to love the hell out of the world. The title of my reflection, The Only Form Love Will Take. As we approach the end of February, Massachusetts is coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the pandemic here. We didn't know this was the moment when COVID-19 was starting to spread. We didn't know this a year ago until many months after, and when we were counting cases in the thousands and counting deaths too. The biotech firm Biogen held a conference at one of Boston's waterfront hotels with 200 participants from around the U.S. and from other countries as well. Of course, back then there were no masks being worn, no physical distancing, and only the usual hand washing. But the coronavirus was there. Apparently, one person was infected. An analysis after the fact revealed that the conference was a super spreader event. It led to at least 245,000 cases. They were found in 18 states, as well as in Australia, Sweden, and Slovakia. I mark this same February anniversary on my personal pandemic calendar. I left the hotel as Biogen conferees were arriving, having just completed a dance competition, the last one I took part in since the pandemic began. As we approach the anniversary of various pandemic markers in our lives, questions like, how do we, any of us, love the hell out of this world? We are the only form love will take, so what do we do now? Questions like these have what pass for simple answers, and we know them well. Wear a mask. Current advice says maybe 2. Keep physical distance. Wash your hands well and often. Follow guidance for gatherings. Guidance for travel. To borrow and redefine words of Cornel West, this is what love looks like in public. But that's not all it looks like. These are not the only ways we know or share love. A week ago, Dr. Jerry Abraham was a guest of Rachel Maddow. Dr. Abraham is the vaccine distribution director with the Kedron Community Health Center in South Los Angeles. During the interview, Dr. Abraham described to Rachel how Kedron planned for, developed, and rolled out a COVID-19 vaccination walk-up clinic, a clinic that is tailored to meet the needs of the Black and Brown communities Kedron serves. It all began, said Dr. Abraham, when the staff put their own oxygen masks on first. The Kedron staff were vaccinated, and then they turned to Black and Brown healthcare workers in the community, workers who were not part of Kedron and not part of any large healthcare system, limiting them in how easily they could find vaccine. The Kedron staff vaccinated as many of their colleague healthcare workers as they could. But Dr. Abraham was very clear that the Kedron staff was not just in this for themselves, and not just in this for healthcare workers or essential workers. Kedron was in this to serve the whole community, and to do that, once they had their oxygen masks on, the rollout had to be done in ways that overcame barriers to vaccination. The rollout had to be designed intentionally to reach everyone, every grandma and grandpa, every essential worker, everyone in the community, and to do this, they implemented workarounds that were made necessary because of assumptions built in to so many rollout plans. Assumptions about technology, about who has a computer or access to email or a phone. Assumptions about transportation, about who has a car, who can afford a taxi or Uber, who has access to public transportation. Assumptions about documentation and who might need and deserve a vaccine but might not have documentation. All those workarounds and more, they are working. They are working. And there is still one more thing that Kedron struggles with: the limited supply of the vaccine. And even for that, they managed to come up with a kind of workaround, or a way to work with the available supply more effectively. Community partnerships were developed by Kedron. Those partnerships allow them access to leftover vaccine from another facility, and they allow Kedron to pass on any of its own leftover vaccine to other providers. The goal is to get vaccine in arms. The goal is that no drop goes to waste. The story of the plan and the rollout and the workarounds was compelling enough to keep me glued to the interview from beginning to end. But there was one more thing that held me. It was, in a way, just the image of the doctor on screen, but there was something about the doctor, about his image, about what he conveyed even to me, miles away and a TV screen separated from him. His energy was so positive. The doctor was so optimistic. He smiled as he spoke about vaccination, and I sometimes caught myself thinking, what's with that? How do you smile? How do you smile? The way he ended the interview explained it all. The staff at Kedron, he told Rachel, are feeling positive. The staff is optimistic. There is music and singing and dancing and smiling at the vaccination clinic. Why? This is how, Dr. Abraham said, this is how we get back to loving our loved ones. We are joyous every day that we can be part of the solution. We are joyous every day that we can be part of the solution. We are the only form love will take, and the work is ours to do. At this one-year pandemic anniversary, we are tired, angry, maybe frustrated, sometimes worried, resigned. We are celebrating milestones and holidays on Zoom and in car parades. And as the vaccine is becoming available, we are celebrating that too. When a family member or friend gets their shot, when we or someone we know gets their appointment, when the second shot is given and done. If Reverend Crawford called it right in her blog post, that it is our job, our mission, to take love, overflowing, passionate, undying love, and train it on the hell that exists in this world, then there is something about joy in being part of the solution that feels right and true and needed. So how about this for a moment of joy right here and right now? There have been and there will be others in this congregation, in this community, but here's the one we've got. Today's special collection is dedicated to independent living for young adults. ILYA. ILYA supports young people as they age out of foster care. Working with social service agencies, ILYA helps fill gaps in supportive services that Trinae Parker, who is director of the Delaware Division of Children, Youth, and Their Families says, services that are so crucial to their success: housing, education, and employment. So we celebrate. We have a moment of joy this day. There will be more. There will be others. And we celebrate. As the good doctor said of his work in South Los Angeles, we are joyous every day that we can be part of the solution. So may we be, for all we do to love the hell out of this world. Unitarian theologian and ethicist Ancestor James Luther Adams said that in order for goodness to triumph, it must be institutionalized. We are, and we must be, one such place, one such community, where goodness, where love is deeply, fully, wholeheartedly institutionalized, where the thread we hold, the one we never let go of, is woven into the fabric of us so tightly, so enduringly, that we know ours is a single garment of destiny. And we know that ours is all. We are the only form love will take, and the work is ours to do. We are here to love the hell out of the world.
Good morning. My name is Barbara Kroll, and I'm here on behalf of Independent Living for Young Adults, affectionately known as ILYA, a social action project of our church. Back in 2005, some church members became aware of an unrecognized need in our community, that of youth turning 18 who, now that they were adults, were required to exit foster care with little or no resources or support. While as a volunteer group of the church, we knew we could not meet the huge financial needs of these youth, we thought that maybe we could provide some of the small personal things that make a person feel cared for and valued, things that the state perhaps are not able to offer. 16 years later, those concerns have evolved into a program whereby our church members and some non-members, working cooperatively with our Division of Family Services, Delaware's Child Protective Agency, offer programs to enrich the spirits of these young adults. This past holiday, thanks to your generosity, gift cards were provided to 39 young adults and 10 of their children, replacing the in-church activity in the past where you selected gifts from wish lists provided by the youth. In addition, ILYA traditionally provides a pizza graduation party to honor those former foster youth who have recently graduated, a real accomplishment for these youth who have overcome so many discouraging obstacles. The funds we seek today are for our year-round projects. Throughout the year, ILYA volunteers put together kits of all those supplies so necessary to start a first apartment. Church members send care packages of goodies to the youth in college, in post-secondary training programs, and in the military to brighten their day and boost their spirits. While pregnancy is not encouraged, when it occurs, an ILYA team jumps into action to provide the new mother with needed baby supplies. Some tutoring is offered to help pass high school
and GED exams. And ILYA has a small fund to help out with grants or loans for emergency crises. When appropriate, ILYA volunteers have testified in support of state funding for the independent living programs. One of our most valued projects has been our furniture project, whereby members donate furniture they no longer can use, and in return, youth are able to make selections for their new home. At the moment, that project is on hold because of COVID, but we are hoping that issue will be resolved later this year. Right now, we need someone or someones to lead this project. How about you? How about one or more brown bag or spirituality programs, groups coming together to help out? Which brings me to a general request. While we are soliciting you today for money to support our year-long projects, I also ask you to think about how you might offer your skills, your interest, and your talents. The ILYA program offers many different ways for members of a congregation to become involved. Do you like to bake cookies? Do you like to plan parties? Do you like to write? Are you tech savvy? This is the congregation's project. This is our beloved community. It can only continue if you become part of it. And now you might ask, what do the young adults think about ILYA? Well, let's hear from Maida Barrios, a third-year student at Delaware State University, in remarks that she prepared for the graduates of our online graduation party last summer. Maida has benefited from the Holiday Giving Project, the Student Care Project, the Graduation Party, and the Apartment Kit Project. She refers to ILYA as ILYA in the video, so don't be confused.
Hi everyone, my name is Maida Barrios and I am a former foster youth in Delaware's foster care system. Currently, I am a junior at Delaware State University majoring in social work. I just wanted to talk about how the ILYA program has helped me personally and how I know it'll affect others that are aging out of the foster care system getting ready to go on to college. For number one, the graduation party that we host in around June or July is a big help. We are giving backpacks that are full of supplies that are essential for us going off to college. For example, notebooks, pens, papers. Some of them have toiletries, to get you started if you're in an apartment and stuff like that. And it also gives us an opportunity to meet other youth that are also going off to college, whether that's the same college or a different college. Personally, I know for me, when I went off to college, I was able to meet a few others that were also going to Del State, which is the school I'm currently at, and it was a big help because I wasn't going in there knowing nobody. I knew at least a couple people. It also helped just in general to see where other people were going with their futures and to see how they succeeded in their own successes was a huge help as well, because I'd be able to connect with them outside of the graduation party and just see how they were doing and what they were achieving with their own success. Another big help is the care package program, and in this program we are given care packages throughout the school year to just kind of help uplift us throughout rough times, whether that's final exam times, whether that's the Christmas season where oftentimes we're left to stay on campus by ourselves and we don't get to spend it with our families. We also get them during like the Halloween time and Valentine's Day, so it's honestly just a great feeling to be able to get a care package when others around you, like your peers and stuff like that, are getting care packages, but oftentimes we feel like we're forgotten. But with this program, we're able to feel like we are not forgotten and that somebody is out there caring for us and appreciates us. I also think it's really important for foster youth that are graduating high school and entering college to have a laptop. With the times that are going on now and with the pandemic that is happening, we really don't know what next semester will look like. Next semester could be fully online, and without that laptop, foster youth are really going to struggle. We already struggle without having an entire support system like many other college students. However, with the help of just one laptop, that could really make the difference in a foster youth's college career. Like I said, with everything possibly being virtually, without a computer, this foster youth may not even be able to go to college, and that's already taken away an opportunity just because they don't have what another college student may have. So I think it's really important that with the ILYA program, we help other foster youth be able to get the necessities in order to be able to do their best during college, whether that's online, virtually because of the pandemic, or whether that's in person. Regardless, a lot of things are currently virtual, and I think it's really important that foster youth are given that opportunity to succeed just like any other college student would. As mentioned before, the ILIA program has really helped me, and I hope to see this program help many others in their future and their future endeavors. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Our offertory music will be a performance by Rashawn King, playing Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat minor, Opus 9, number 2. Rashawn entered foster care at the age of 15, aged out at 18, and like Maida, is a junior at Delaware State University. He is majoring in music education. While Rashawn is playing, please note the instructions for making your donation that will be shown on your screen. And now please join me in saying the words of our offertory dedication. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Thank you.
Our closing words for this service are from the Shona people of Zimbabwe. My apologies for my poor pronunciation of their language. Someday may we too speak such words of greeting and blessing. Murare hare, did you sleep? Ndrare kana marawao, I slept well if you slept well. Durare, I slept. Makadi, how are you? Daripo Makadiwo, I am here if you are here. Daripo, I am here. How are you? I am here if you are here. I am here.
As I extinguish our chalice, I offer these words by Brian Kiley. The chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet.